We're going to talk about camera apertures today. This is a 50 millimeter lens. The largest aperture it can have is 1.7. That is a fraction. That means the largest opening on it is 1.7, 1 over 1.7 of 50 millimeters. And the smallest aperture that this particular lens has is f16, which means it is 1/16 of 50 millimeters. Now, there are a couple of things that this does. Obviously, with the smallest aperture, less light is going to come into the lens. So we need to do a couple of things. Either we need to have a longer shutter speed, or we need to boost our sensitivity, or ISO, of our camera. Now, also, if we let more light in by opening the aperture up, we can shoot at a faster shutter speed and capture faster things like sports and different things. As with everything, though, there is a trade-off. As we shoot wide open, we lose what is called depth of field. And as we shoot smaller aperture, we gain depth of field. Now, depth of field simply means how much of your image is in focus. If you've ever seen an image where perhaps a flower petal is in focus and the rest of the picture is out of focus, that was more than likely shot with a large aperture, which causes a short depth of field. Pictures that have the whole image in focus are shot with a small aperture opening. Now, this is caused by something called circles of confusion. Your eyes can adjust to a certain amount of things that are out of focus and pretend like they are in focus. When you shoot with a wide open aperture, your circle of confusion is larger, which decreases the depth of field perception your eye has. Whereas when you shoot at a smaller aperture, the circle of confusion is also smaller, but it creates more of an illusion of in-focus depth of field for you. At any time, there is only one specific point of the image that is in focus. But because of the circle of confusion and the way your eye adjusts and thinks of things, you can change the perception of how much of an image is in focus. Again, it's sometimes sort of silly to think that the larger number, f16 in this case, is a smaller aperture than 1.7. But if you will think about the fact that it's a fraction, I think that might help you. Anyway, that's all of our discussion on aperture today. Later, next week, sometime later, I don't know when, we'll talk about shutter speed.